Members, last session I introduced legislation to jumpstart the discussion on how we can level the playing field in construction contracting. And to illustrate that point, I gave every member on this floor an orange level to serve as a reminder that Arizona's contractors will need your support in 2018. I know that many of you still have them. I see them in your offices as I walk by, as a reminder. Thank you. Thank you, Senator Kavanaugh. We try to be. I'm sure we can all remember the packed gallery, much like it is today. As you can see, those same hard-working Arizona contractors are here with us to ask for your support for Senate Bill 1271. Our bill will put an end to overreaching indemnity clauses that holds contractors responsible for the mistakes of others. Existing law, which has been on the books for 20 years, prohibits this unfair practice in public projects, and our contractors simply want to mirror that law in private contracts. The framers, electricians, roofers, plumbers, and all the trades that you see in the gallery today have formed Arizona's for Fair Contracting, which serves as the contracting community's united voice in advocating for fair contracting practices. As you know, my family has been in the construction business for over 60 years, and I have experienced this firsthand along with everyone else I have worked with. These contractors are not seeking an unfair advantage. This issue is merely about accountability. Senate Bill 1271 is about fairness in construction contracts, and passing this legislation will have a positive impact on our construction businesses, large and small. These contractors' employees, what you see in the audience right now is only part of them. There was no more room. They're all out in the lobby here for support. You will see many of them are actually people that took time off from work today so that they could be here and show you how important their businesses and their jobs and their families are to them. Because unfair practices cost us our businesses, they cost us our jobs, and we want to make sure that you are hearing our voices. So if all of you will please, members, if you will please stand in the audience, those of you in the audience, those representing Arizona Fair Contractors, would you please stand? And senators on the floor, would you please welcome them and let them know that we care about them.
Welcome to the Senate. So, we are going to go to Senate Bill 1271.
Senate Bill 1271 prohibits a contractor from requiring a performing subcontractor, architect, or engineer to defend, indemnify, insure, or hold harmless the contractor except for liabilities caused by the performing party's own negligence, recklessness, or intentional wrongful conduct.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, committee members. Thank you all for agreeing to hear this bill. As I stated before, many of you know I dropped this bill last year, almost in exact words, to allow us the entire summer and the fall to be able to have numerous stakeholder meetings. I threw it out there so people could throw darts at it and tell me what they like, what they don't like, and offered to amend it to whatever would help us reach that consensus. A couple of things. I just want to say, ironically, the interesting thing about this is that we should all be on the same team. As you know, Senator Smith has been working hard and diligently to have a workforce bill to help us get more workforce people out there. We have a shortage there of trying to get people into the field. This is something that we should all be on board with, which is making sure that we have a good, viable economy. But when we have things that go on in this, like in this, the situation that we're going on now, which the bill is trying to fix, we are literally losing companies, we're losing jobs because of unfair practices in contracting. And you will see everyone out here in this audience, particularly those with the vest on, they took time off from work today. They came down here to show you how important this is to them. You know, we call them the little guys. We're the ones that are out in the trenches trying to work and feed our families. You know, we're not the ones that are making, you know, the big bucks. We're just trying to get along. So this is a small example of how important this is to these guys. And you know what? It's one thing we like to do down here at the Capitol is stand up for the little guys that are getting the short end of the stick. One of the things that you're probably going to hear is that this is a right to contract. A right to contract is when somebody puts in a contract, this is how much we agree to pay you, this is when we will pay you, 20 days, 30 days, 60 days. This is when I expect you to have your work done, and if you don't have it done, we'll have liquidated damages. This is how much insurance I expect you to have and bonding on the job. Those are the things that are in the contract when we call right to contract. What is not right to contract is when they say, we want you to sign this contract, and in this contract there is a clause that says, we, the developers, are not responsible for anything regardless of even if it's our fault. I will give you an example. Personally, I have been a contractor for 34 years, small contractor. I have 40 employees. Luckily, this bill was almost identical, was done 20 years ago, where we were able to fix this in Public Works. But prior to that, I'll tell you a quick story. Very early on in my career, I'm on a construction job. The construction job is by Contractor A. Contractor A's cement truck, Contractor A's cement truck driver. There is a porta-john. Their driver in their truck backed up over the porta-john and killed a subcontractor employee, a steel subcontractor. And you know, all of the rest of us subs all got named in the lawsuit and held responsible for it, and that contractor didn't have to do anything because the contract says we're not responsible for anything, even if it's our fault. That's just one example. Another example that we're having right now with current stuff is going on is, remember last year we did the ADA bill where we were having these drive-by lawsuits and everybody was trying to do all this stuff? Now we have the same thing going on with these same lawyers that are doing what they call forensic home inspections. So they are literally coming in sometimes 6, 7, 8 years after the home is done and complete. They're coming in and doing these free forensic home inspections so that they can figure out how to sue the builders and the developers and everybody else. This is why I'm saying we should be on the same page with this, because these are the forces, the outside forces, that are actually coming after us. We have other people that are here to speak and answer all of your questions. We have a lot of people here that wanted to speak, and Mr. Chairman, with your permission, since we're limiting this to only 4 people speaking, could we please have everybody here that is in support of this bill briefly stand up instead of getting up to the mic and speaking? If you will all please stand up in support. Thank you.